Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect. Right? This will be just a quick in transit thinking out loud. I just got done listening to a few news broadcasts dealing with this this object that they're calling a UFO that they shot down over Canada airspace, which the NORAD shot down. Which NORAD is North American aerospace defense or airspace defense. And mind you, it was shot down over 100 miles in Canada, which in time past, that has nothing to do with America. But we know, you know what I'm saying, that North America, Canada, and Mexico, they're all one now. They're operating under the same, for lack of a better term, like jurisdiction now. Same type of laws, because we are in the so-called New World Order, okay? They just gotta bring the people into subjection of it. Which brings me back to, my thoughts concerning Esau claiming that he shot down a UFO. What was that, last week? They shot down, they say, a Chinese surveillance, excuse me, a Chinese surveillance balloon. And they also shot down an object about, they say, the size of a small car over the Alaskan skies. And to me, in the spirit, this is all psychological war and preparing the minds for the war that's getting ready to take place. All right? The coming invasion of this continent of the United States, and coming terrorist attacks. Okay? They're talking about they got crews going out to recover the debris. Well, what's taking so long? Is my question. You're supposed to be the greatest country on the planet, the greatest military. Once something's shut down, it should be recovered that same day. All right? With all the technology that this place has, but they haven't. The only thing that they say that they know is of earthly excuse me, earthly origin was a Chinese surveillance balloon. And these other two objects, the one over Alaska, and they still haven't recovered the wreckage of the Chinese, so-called Chinese surveillance balloon. So I believe they're just prepping the people for what's coming next, all right? Which I believe could be maybe, a series of explosions, maybe a pocket nuke, you know what I'm saying, so that they can justify going to war. Because that's what's in the air. We're in the time of war, all right? As it is written in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Excuse me. As is written in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. To every season, there is a time. To every season under the sun, roughly paraphrasing, there is a time. All right? And we are not in a time of peace. Okay? By any means, we're not in the time of peace. We're not in the time of mirth. We're not in the time of none of that. We're in the time of war and lamenting. All right. We're in the time of famine. Okay. We're in the time of tearing down. All right. These are the times that we're in. And I believe through the Spirit, man, we gonna have some major so-called terrorist attacks coming to the States real soon. All right, but Russia has their warships out in the oceans surrounding Babylon the Great. They say one is 25 miles off the coast of Hawaii. You can actually see it from Hawaii. Okay, you got them in the Alaska. I mean, not Alaska, I'm sorry. The Atlantic Ocean. Okay, you got them in the Pacific Ocean. You have their, they have fleets. Or they have what they call, not fleets, but they have their submarines armed with these torpedo-type nuclear weapons that can cause tsunamis, all surrounding the U.S., right? So I believe they're just prepping the minds with all this talk of, let me silence this phone. All this talk of shooting down these aircrafts, unidentified aircrafts, Chinese surveillance. Something major's coming. Something major is coming this year, 2023, and I believe it's going, like I keep saying it too, sometime after the Passover, we're looking at society changing type events. You know? That's what we're looking at. We're looking at society changing type events sometime after the Passover. Lord willing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's usually when these devils go to war, when things jump off, you know, it's springtime, March time, when the weather is a little better, all right? And things of that nature. So I believe, you know, through the Spirit, and if you in the Spirit, you could feel something's coming. Something heavy's coming. The beloved priest, Amawan Gabar, he uploaded a premiere the other day, last week, with that commercial that came on regular TV, all right, here in the U.S., telling the population, you know, the people that are asleep, that ain't paying attention to what's going on, they were hit with a commercial that said, battery getting bad. They were hit with a commercial that said, what's it called? The next disaster is upon us. This is what you should do to prepare. Okay? So they're warning you of something to happen. All right? They're warning you of these things to come. So when it does happen, you can't say you didn't know. And not only they warning you, but you have the prophets warning. All right? The prophets are telling you that things are coming. Major things. We talking society changing type events to where society won't go back to you going to work every day, when you having to pay bills. All right? We talking about America going into a state of war. All right? Babylon the Great going into a state of war to where buildings are being blown up. The so-called peacekeepers in the street. If you don't know who the peacekeepers are, all right, the ones that wear the blue hats, okay? You have all these different nations surrounding this place and already inhabited, okay? So we're looking at things to come that's going to alter society to the likes that the average U.S. citizen has no idea, nor do they think that this type of event is coming. The last time something of this magnitude happened, I would say 9/11, all right, which we know what that was all about. And then before that, you had Pearl Harbor, which the U.S. Mind control, right? The U.S. government were privy of both of those things. Matter of fact, they were behind both of those things. Okay? And we're at the point to where they're ready to institute that CHIP to make it mandatory for you to take. And all they need is an excuse. All right? The economy crashing. You got blackouts, all right, that they've been talking about. The power grid going down. You've been having these different so-called attacks against the power grid out there in on the East Coast. I believe it's the DMV area, Maryland, I believe it was. They had arrested some woman, all right, and her dude, talking about they wanted to carry out an attack on the power stations, the grid that controlled that area of the U.S. so that they can wreak havoc in the states, and it was racially motivated. Okay, so you got all these things happening, you know, pointing to war here in the states, man. Okay, so this is the time we in. And if you're not preparing your mind for these things, when it comes, you will fold like a cheap lawn chair, all right? You will fold like a cheap lawn chair, okay? Things are getting ready to get hot and heavy in the U.S., okay? Let me get this scripture and then I'll close it. End it out on this, man. You got to understand the time that you're living in. This is why Ezra, 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, told you, measure the time diligently in itself, all right? Matter of fact, I might go there. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, all right? So we're in a time to where this society is getting ready to go out, and it's going to go out violently, pursuing the Revelation, the 18th chapter, all right? Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down. It shall be found no more, all right? From the time the violence kicks off, it ain't gonna stop until Yahushua returns and the missiles drop. It's gonna be non-stop violence everywhere, okay? And the average Jake has no clue. The average Jake has no clue. But these Edomites, they preparing for war. DC, the government, all right? The federal government has totally left the premises. There's been reports of these elite and people that are in the know that's in high positions, different politicians, you know, people that know what's going on. They're going underground. They're getting ready to go underground, man. And they are going underground. Truckers giving reports on how they drive into these underground facilities and dropping off food, water, you know, things that they say that there's a shortage of. But really it ain't a shortage. It's just going down into them DUMBs, deep underground military bases that you average Jakes have no access to, all right? The average person doesn't have access to. So you're gonna be the expendables, all right? You're gonna be out here to fend for yourself. You won't have protection, all right? Our only protection is through Yahushua, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. That's where our protection will lie, all right? Because us in the know, we know what the hell's going on. We know that truly indeed that they're coming after the Lord's people, as it is written in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, all right? They coming after those that fear the Lord. This is what it's all about. They got to get rid of us in order for them to keep control of the planet Earth and put us back in perpetual slavery, all right? So that we may forget our power. And they figured out a way to, which they didn't figure out nothing. It was given to them, the technology, to the jump shot, all right? So this is truly what it's all about. They want us to totally be disconnected from our power so that they can have rule over the earth. Because they'll never fulfill the bet the Heavenly Father made with them in Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, of searching out the heavens and the earth beneath and the sea, all right, to make us stop from being a nation from the Most High. So what they do, they trying to disconnect us literally through poison, through jump shot, through technology that they put in the jump shot, all right? So again, it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And I'm going to jump down to the point. Where it's at. Where is it at? A time of war. All right, because this is the time that we living in. Okay, there we go. Verse 8. It says, a time to love and a time to hate. All right, because we're not in the time of love either. All right, of course, love for the brethren and the believers. All right, but we're in the time to where hatred is getting ready to be shown out here. All right, and it's gonna come through violence. It says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So we're in the time of war, all right? That's the time we living in. It's in the air. And that's why you're seeing within a matter of, what is it, been 2 weeks, you've had these objects fly over the U.S. One they say belongs to China. These other two, they ain't really said nothing about. They just say they shot them down. The last one, they saying it's a UFO, which they ain't shoot down no UFO from an angel. They ain't shot no angel down. All right? You gotta remember, this devil is a liar and the father of it. All right? He set out to deceive the nations. All right? And that's a way he can deceive. All right? By controlling the narrative through his media. Okay? His news programming. Okay? So we in a time of war, man. And it's going to get violent in the States. And you got to prepare your minds for it. All right? Because it ain't going to be no running. Ain't going to be no hiding. You're going to be here and you're going to have to deal with it. All of us. We're going to have to deal with this thing. So in this walk, make sure you walking it sincerely. All right? Because as it is written, let me get that real quick and then I'll close it. Every man's work shall be revealed by fire. Okay? And that fire ultimately represent this hell that's coming. And then ultimately, when them nuclear missiles drop. All right? Will you be 100% purified through that fire by being beamed up into the chariots? Or will the Lord leave you here and you be burned up like stubble? This is 1 Corinthians 3:13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it. All right? And ultimately that day is dealing with when them nuclear missiles are shot off. All right? Through this world war that's getting ready to take place, this third world war. Because it's going to start out as a conventional war, soldiers, different Scud missiles, and, you know, explosions, tanks, all type of firearms. Okay, it's going to start out as that modern conventional war, but it's going to end nuclear. It said, because it shall be revealed by fire, and fire, and it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. So even when the violence kicks off, it's trial. It's going to reveal if you truly were rooted and grounded in this thing. All right? If any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. And that ultimate reward is to be delivered. Okay? If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? So if you truly in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, all right, you're going to get through, you're going to pass this test, because that's all it is. Everything that we're getting ready to go through in real time, in real life, it's all a test, all right, to try our faith, to try the fidelity that you proclaim to have in Yahweh Shai. And we're going to be pushed to the max, man. Don't think, it's going to be a cakewalk. This is why you got to strengthen your inner man. This is why you have to walk this thing sincerely, all right? If you truly want to be found worthy to stand before the Son of Man, all right? Otherwise, keep playing with the Most High and see what happens, all right? When shit get real out here, see if you will have protection, okay? So I'm gonna close it there. Getting ready to pull up back to the crib, man. So, call halal Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. And it's on to the next video. Shalom.